All right, so check it out. This is it's kind of a political video, but at the same time, kind of not, because I think that this conversation is about something a whole lot bigger than politics. So today, I'm scrolling the internet and I see this clip where I listen to, we'll just say, a high-ranking member of the current administration explain to the American people out loud with a straight face why they wouldn't concede to Democratic demands to reattach emergency health care funding to the continuing resolution that would reopen the federal government. Now, they said, and I want to make sure I'm getting this right, they said verbatim, there's a lot of emergency health care at hospitals that are provided to illegal aliens that was funded by the federal government. We have intentionally turned off that funding because, of course, we want American citizens to benefit from those hospital services, rather than Americans being taxed and then to have those hospital services go to illegal aliens, end quote. Now, what's fascinating is that this person said this like it was noble, like it was righteous, like it was common sense. And I guess at face value, it may seem that way. And I think that's why I've probably had a lot of intelligent people that I love and care for repeat the same sentiment over and over again to me in the last few days. But it's also why I feel like we've got to talk about this. Because here's the reality. We have this incredible law in this country. It's been in place since 1986. It's called the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. It says that any hospital that's participating in federal programs, if you think like Medicare and Medicaid, and basically all major hospitals, any hospital that participates in these programs must provide, and make sure to pay attention here, stabilizing and life-saving emergency treatment for anyone that's in a medical emergency, regardless of their ability to pay and regardless of their citizenship. It's why so many people who can't afford to go to the doctor end up going to the hospital. But it's not a loophole. It's literally our ethic. It ensures that if someone happens to be driving down the road and they are involved in a terrible car accident and they're bleeding out, hospitals are able to provide them the immediate life-saving care that they require without trying to wake them back up to consciousness and ask them for their social security card or their identification or a valid passport first. This law that was passed back in 1986, it ensures that the hospitals have the funding that they need that saves human lives. It isn't partisan. It's just basic human decency. And it wasn't even signed into law by a Democrat. Listen, it was signed into law by Ronald freaking Reagan. And here's why he signed it. Because he knew that all people have value. Everybody's life's precious, whether they're American or not. Just in case you're wondering, that's a pro-life value. And for Christians, even the ones that wave that banner that are part of this current administration, this should flow from a much deeper conviction. And that conviction is this, that every human being bears the image of God. So without apology, as part of the values that we hold sacred, we set aside public money for this kind of care. And just in case you're wondering, it's a really small fraction of the budget. Now, I want to make sure that I remind all of my Republican friends here that you have reminded us repeatedly over the last decade that all lives matter, right? Now, even if you're a fiscally conservative American who is like super worried about conserving resources for the benefit of other American citizens, not only do I think that you should want to live in a society where we value life like this, but you should also want to do this strictly from a financial perspective. Because if the government doesn't provide these resources, these life-saving, stabilizing resources, then the hospitals have to eat the costs. for serving these folks. And guess who that added cost gets passed off to? You guessed it, the paying American consumer. So the cost of health care just continues to go up. So by, and I'm quoting here, turning off this funding, as the administration put it, they're actually making what is already a serious fiscal problem that much worse. Which is why Democratic lawmakers are demanding that it be put back before a budget is agreed upon. But back to my original point, which is, honestly, it's the much larger point of this entire conversation. We as humans, we only value life as much as we value the most vulnerable life. Once we start deciding whose lives count and who deserves care, then the danger doesn't stay out there. It creeps and it spreads. It finds new targets. And just in case you're wondering, you're never going to know when your head's going to end up on the chopping block. So if we build a world, and track with me here, that sees undocumented immigrants as equally worthy of life-saving medical care, as equally worthy of wholeness and life in general, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing for everybody. When you raise the floor for the least of these, you end up raising the ceiling for all of us. And I think that's why Jesus said that what you do for the hungry and the naked and the imprisoned, that's what you're doing to God. Because that's how big of a deal this is. The test of any society is how it treats the people that are most easily discarded. So, when somebody from this administration stands up and tells you boldly and proudly that illegal aliens are taking from you and that their care means less care for you and your family, you gotta recognize the power move here. It is straight up scapegoating, like classic scapegoating. It manufactures fear. It turns us against the weak. And I am begging you, don't fall for it. Because care isn't a zero-sum game, and dignity doesn't have a quota. Caring for immigrants doesn't mean that our citizens get less care. The whole point is that every soul, no matter your citizenship, deserves life-saving treatment when it's available. So as a buddy of mine from Instagram puts it, Brian Recker, he says, the real question isn't whether or not we can afford to care for them. The real question is whether we can afford to lose our humanity if we don't. And that's food for freaking thought.